The hunting trip wasn't about deer. It was about a silence Dad thought would heal us, a silence soaked in a grief that demanded a sacrifice. The bruise-colored dawn felt like a warning, the air thick with wet leaves, and the metallic tang of something far more sinister than gasoline. I followed Dad out to the truck, a dark silhouette against the bleeding sky.
Each step felt like walking towards an abyss, a place where echoes of the past clawed their way into the present, twisting familiar landscapes into horrifying reflections.
The highway blurred into a ribbon of gray, each mile taking us further from the world of logic and closer to the heart of Dad's fractured reality. Past the warehouses, past the stadiums, past the last vestiges of sanity, we drove deeper into the nightmare he'd constructed. The yuppie neighborhood felt wrong. A grotesque parody of peace and tranquility. The pristine lawns and manicured gardens were a stark contrast to the violence brewing in Dad's eyes, a terrifying juxtaposition of surface and depth. The woods were thin, revealing slices of lives untouched by our grief. Grill smoke, a swing set, the blue rectangle of a pool, each a reminder of what we had lost, what Dad was determined to steal. The rifle emerged from the truck bed, oiled and ready, a silent promise of destruction, a symbol of Dad's twisted logic. The ground was slick, each step a betrayal. The snapping of twigs echoed in the unnatural quiet, a countdown to the moment when Dad's madness would spill over into the world. "I don't like the quiet," I said, the words swallowed by the oppressive silence. The quiet felt like it had teeth, ready to devour us whole. The sun glinted off the glass walls, throwing white flashes that felt like accusatory stares. The house stood as a symbol of everything we had lost, everything Dad believed had been unjustly stolen. The woman rubbed the boy's shoulder like he'd invented the boat, like water was the first miracle. A normal scene of love and joy, and Dad was determined to shatter it into a million pieces. "Pain's like an STD," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. "People give it to each other." His words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of his twisted logic. The trees hissed with insects, a chorus of unseen horrors. Sweat slid down my back despite the chill, a premonition of the terror to come. "The man who owns that house gave us a lot of pain," he said, his voice cold and distant. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken accusations. I dropped and shoved the barrel deep into the dirt, a desperate attempt to stop the inevitable. Grit clogged the muzzle, a symbolic act of defiance against Dad's madness. He snarled and shoved me back, a shove that said I was a wallboard he could put a hole in any time he wanted. I felt the rage simmering beneath his grief, a dangerous and unpredictable force. "We don't have a home," he said, his voice flat and empty. The words echoed in the silence, a chilling reminder of our shattered lives. "This is for you, baby doll," he whispered, and I didn't know if he meant Mom or me. The words were a chilling premonition of the horror to come. The shot ripped the morning open, a violent intrusion into the fragile peace. Birds tore out of the trees, fleeing the scene of our impending tragedy. Then, a splash. The sound echoed in my ears, a horrifying punctuation mark at the end of Dad's twisted sentence. Not bright. Not movie red. It went purple first, then brown, then the slow sinking red that knows where to go. The colors of death swirling in the once pristine water. The woman's mouth opened like a nutcracker, and the sound she made came out of the woods around me. Close, so close, it felt like I was the god she wanted to bargain with. A sound that would haunt my dreams forever. Dad pulled back from the scope and made a sound himself. Not the back straight tears from the funeral. These were boy sobs, Christmas wrong sobs, the sound of a soul shattering. He started down the trail toward the truck. No rush. Nothing chasing him but his own shadow. But his shadow was a monster. I wanted to run and tackle him, to shake the yellow out of his eyes. I couldn't make my legs listen. Fear had paralyzed me, turning my body into a prison. Pain pulsed with my heartbeat, hot, then cold. A chilling reminder of the horror I had witnessed, the horror that would now forever be a part of me. The waterfall kept hissing, a constant, mocking reminder of the life that had been stolen. The toy boat bumped the edge and went still, a symbol of innocence lost. Somewhere, a dog barked without knowing why. A sound of innocence in a world consumed by madness. The woman's cries kept coming, folding through the trees and back as if there were 2 or 3 of her, as if grief could multiply by echo. The grief has transformed into a many-headed beast. I stared at the water until it stopped moving. I waited for sirens, for the world to choose a side, for anything that would tell me what our quiet would sound like from now on. The waiting was a torment. I don't know if Dad's pain went anywhere, but mine began to grow. It was a cancer feeding on my soul. And even then, doubled over in the mud, I could feel it looking for a way to travel. The pain wanted to be shared, to be spread like a disease. The sirens wailed in the distance, drawing closer. Soon, everyone would know what we had done. I knew our lives would never be the same. We are forever haunted by grief. Dad and I are in jail. I don't know what will become of our lives. I don't know if I can move on from this nightmare. It will haunt me forever.